Welcome back to another Carl Gosling 10-minute VR review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Boneworks, the hugely anticipated first-person physics shooter puzzle type game, I suppose they kind of pitched it as. Now again, why only a 10-minute video? Because we all get bored quickly, and I can tell you everything you need to know about this game in under 10 minutes. So let's get to it. First things first. The graphics and the presentation of the game. Presentation is really good. It's been presented in a really smooth and effective manner. The graphics themselves, they're a little bit average. There's nothing particularly amazing about them, but there's nothing particularly terrible about them. So let's just go with average for that. As far as the sound goes, there's not much of it, to be honest. And the reason why there's not much of it is because not a lot really happens for most of the game. I mean, I haven't played all of it. I've played about 3 hours, and I'll be brutally honest with you, I've got bored. I'm probably not going to go back to it. The game is 6 or 7 hours in total play time, so maybe I'm just below halfway through. But to be honest, it's just not one for me. It's too slow, it's boring, and there's just not much going on. I mean, this was hyped up, you know, really hyped up, and my expectations were up here, and the reality of it is it's down there out of shot somewhere. You know, and I've seen a few other reviews of this, and they're all so positive about it, and I don't know whether they're just sugarcoating the reality of the game because they want it to be good. They want to push the VR scene forward. I want to push the VR scene forward as well because I love virtual reality. But the truth about this game is it's just boring. Now, at least I mean, this is subjective. I find it boring. For me, a game is rated by how fun it is. You know, if I'm playing a game, I want it to be fun. I want it to be enjoyable. I want to be having a good time. And with this, I just found myself meandering around, you know, solving the puzzles and hitting the odd zombie type bad guy in the head with a bat or a hammer or a brick or whatever I had, and then you get your guns and you get to shoot the other guys that are coming at you as well. But there's just not much going on, to be honest. It's just very slow, at least for me, you know. I mean, even just to put it in perspective, the tutorial that you can't skip most of is over an hour. And it's done in a cool way. Again, I said the presentation was good earlier. The tutorial is set in a museum-like environment, as if you're going through a museum of virtual reality, and it's teaching you, you walk up, you press a button on the old-fashioned CRT TV screens, they pop up, and they show you what you have to do. But there's over an hour of this if you do it all. Now, when you get right close to the end of the tutorial, you can skip the very last bit, but there's a good hour that you can't. And I was bored by the end of the tutorial because I play VR. I don't need to have it explained in such detail how to move, how to jump, how to pick up objects. You know, it's almost like the game is still a tech demo, really. You know, demonstrating how well they've done with this new physics engine. And whilst they have done a really good job with the physics engine, and the physics is great, heavy objects behave like heavy objects, you can't just wave your hand through the scenery. You know, if there's a wall here and you try and go through it, you'll just hit it and, you know, it'll stop like that. So that's all good and it works really well. At the same time, there can be some frustrations with that. You can end up with your body parts stuck in strange places and strange angles. But the game as a whole is just not fun. You know, if you like very slow-paced, physics puzzle-based games where you occasionally get to kill somebody, go and have a go at Boneworks. But for me, the impression I got from all the trailers and the footage leading up to this, there'd be a lot more gunplay. In it, you know, there's people showing how you can throw a gun in the air and catch it and reload it and all this sort of stuff that's really cool. But you just don't do it. I mean, you could do it. You can stand there in the virtual environment and you can do all of these things and you can play with the objects, you know, and test the physics and really dick around. But that's just more like a demo. It's more like something you would have seen 2 years ago or 3 years ago when the DK2 was out, you know, from Oculus, and they're just demonstrating what can be done in VR. And if you want to spend your time doing those sort of things, maybe you do, then go and buy Boneworks. But from my point of view, it's just a bit boring. It's too slow. The puzzles, I mean, yeah, they're puzzles, but puzzles are puzzles, isn't it? It's nothing particularly interesting about them. And the combat is very minimal throughout the game. So yeah, really my opinion, it's a bit slow. The graphics are average. The presentation's nice and there's a few nice little bits and pieces here. But for me, I'm afraid I'm going to have to say no, it's just not for me. And if you don't like the sort of game I've just described, don't go and buy it. You know, if you're expecting a first-person shooter with a lot more action and a much faster pace, this is not the game for you. If you like very slow, not much going on, puzzle, physics games where you occasionally get to hurt people, then perhaps you might want it. But anyway, that's my Cold Gosling 10-minute VR review for today. I'll catch you all in the next one. Like and subscribe if you appreciate my content. Thank you very much. Take it easy.